You're seeing, I think, for a lot of marketers, a tremendous amount of complexity and sometimes fragmentation as you think about how the open web with respect to DSPs and SSPs and ad servers and walled gardens like the Googles and the Facebooks of the world, and then of course you're also seeing an increasing number of hedged gardens, things like retail media, other vertical media solutions. And for a marketer looking at that, in that complexity is a tremendous amount of opportunity if you can harness it, if you can, bring it all together, if you can stitch it into a kind of a more seamless workflow, if you can, push a button and activate across multiple platforms, if you can see all of your data come back in one place, so you have, single pane of glass to be able to map all of the various opportunities to your funnel and to your business. Wouldn't that be lovely? And, we went out there and kind of realized that as the complexity and the opportunity, grew, there wasn't a rationalizing layer. There wasn't some way for a sophisticated marketer to be able to orchestrate all of those opportunities in a seamless way. Mint discovered the broader ARM opportunity, and it's been amazing. It's just having something that sits on top and is able to connect all those dots and orchestrate has been something that the market has not necessarily had the words for, but has been clearly craving for the last half decade, and delighted that it's here. Mint, to some extent, is doing what the DSP should have done had it not required such depth in the management of real-time bidding and identity and the demands really of the open web. And some of the competitive forces, vis-a-vis the walled gardens, making it harder for that type of interoperability, I think, created the opportunity for, another layer of abstraction. And this thing that, sits yet on top of, the DSPs and, each of the other kind of more bespoke activation platforms out there. And so, yeah, on one hand, it's, you sort of wish the journey finished in this concept of an operating system or sort of a single platform that allowed you to manage all of your touch points, globally across channels. But the fact that here we are in 2023, and there's this history doesn't repeat, but it rhymes, right? You have this sort of secular shift, I think, in how media is being currently managed now. And the timing is right for this kind of second order, third order abstraction layer. The job really does change to, I think, become much more kind of above the neck, right? Allows people to think less about how they're going to do the work and think much more about, what am I trying to accomplish? How am I going to assemble an array of technologies in order to deliver what I'm ultimately trying to accomplish from a business goals perspective? And again, timing, I think, is just perfect for, complexity and opportunity, met with, innovation and, sort of pragmatic, practical thinking. And I think that is what has produced Mint. For a marketer 16 years ago, the DSP in a lot of ways had promised to be the single platform that was going to integrate all of your media touch points and provide this sort of omni-channel ability to reach your audiences and optimize your campaign performance. And what happened in real life was the demands of powering a DSP and sort of connecting to all of the open web inventory, along with a little bit of how the competitive market ended up evolving, right? With walled gardens, sort of creating constraints around the true interoperability, back then, left a little bit of the promise unfulfilled. And what we saw in Mint and we saw in the broader concept of an advertising resource management layer was a little bit of the unfulfilled promise of what the DSP was supposed to do. And that's to provide that sort of single unified orchestration layer basically across all of this tremendous amount of complexity and fragmentation that exists in the digital world and of course the traditional media world as well, and all the things that need to come together in order to make great advertising happen. And that's what Mint has built. It's a perfect time to be introducing a software layer and a concept that both appeals to efficiency, right? So how do I do more with what I have? How do I, make my team's jobs, both more cost effective in terms of like where they're spending their time, but also hopefully a little bit more joy in the process. And again, seeing more of the value of the work than in the doing of it with this again, automation and AI layer on top of all of the platforms. And then two, I think the next wave of this is really around having rationalized, having orchestrated, having integrated, having provided the governance, right? That's almost like the bottom of Maslow's hierarchy, right? Or maybe the middle two layers. And then you start getting into, okay, now that I have all of this in one place, where can it go? Right? What's the palette that is now possible for me to like invent and imagine, because I'm not stuck doing the work exclusively. Like, there's still work. We all appreciate that. But to be able to channel through software and through machine learning, to be able to abstract yourself from the doing and give more time to the thinking and the invention, I think will make it more fun. So I really do think we're on sort of a happy renaissance in the broader market right now, where innovation's happening everywhere, and then there are people that are focused on sort of making that adoptable at scale by the types of people that need to have it, right? The marketers, agencies, globally, that are like, okay, I can now harness this Promethean fire in sort of new and novel ways. It's pretty exciting. What I think is so powerful about Mint is looking at it against the backdrop of all of the amazing amount of innovation that's going on out in the market right now, and different channels and different capabilities and personalized creative and different measurement and different attribution, and not just CMOs thinking about marketing, but CFOs and CEOs and boards, and how wonderful is that, right? At the same time, for the practitioners in the market, it is complex. It is, fragmented. It is, challenging. In those environments, sometimes like new innovation can feel like noise, right? But with with Mint, with an orchestration platform, with something that sits on top of all of that and rationalizes it and makes it, coordinated in its activity, noise becomes music, right? And it unlocks a lot of the real potential and the real opportunity that exists out there, certainly in digital, yes, in all, in all media, but you need that orchestration layer. You need something to keep all of this coordinated, to be able to, have the left hand know what the right hand is doing, to be able to push a button and change things across multiple platforms out there, to be able to pull data back in again and have one single view of what's actually going on across all of your, investments and all of your third-party technologies. That's the renaissance. Like, that's the opportunity that sits in front of us right now, and that's clearly why it's so exciting.